All right. Hi, everyone. James Safert, Bloomberg Intelligence, research analyst. I think what they were just talking about here explains, and what we're going to talk about is kind of the game theory of Bitcoin. Everyone is kind of eventually going to get involved, and we have some of the largest asset managers in the world and one of the largest asset managers in the world on stage here today. To get started, let's start with you, Matt. You had a successful career in the ETF industry. You did not have to go to a startup I don't know, how 8 years ago, 9 years ago, before ETFs were even a remote possibility, to take a shot on this industry. So why did you try to launch a Bitcoin ETF, I don't know, 4 years before we even got one?
Yeah, well, we recognize, and thanks for having me, it's great to be here. We recognized that this was a critical technology and that ETFs would be well received by the market. If Bitcoin's going to achieve its long-term objective, it needs to be owned by a wide variety of people. Some people want to self-custody it. That's great. Other people will want exposure through an ETF. And we thought it was possible, and that turned out to be right.
And Jan, your name is literally on on your company, right? You run the company. You were also extremely early. You were one of the earliest TradFi players, aside from Fidelity, I would argue, that was like bullish on this space, bullish on Bitcoin. Why were you so into Bitcoin, for lack of a better term?
Well, good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know Van Eck, definitely Bitcoin, I would say, is in my blood. And I say that because Van Eck was founded in 1955, but we also started the first gold mutual fund in the United States in 1968 before the big inflationary run-up of the 70s. And it was illegal for Americans to hold gold bullion at the time. Plus, and I haven't said this before, but my mom is German, and she was actually a refugee. She had to flee the communist secret police who were trying to arrest my grandfather. So I get why Bitcoin, I get why freedom.
Great. And then Robbie, you interned in the crypto space, and you decided to make it your career. You went to Blackrock long before. You went to Blackrock while Larry Fink was still calling it an index of money laundering to head up their digital assets side of things. I guess, what was your decision, and why did you believe that BlackRock was ultimately going to launch a Bitcoin ETF when you went there, after seeing what Larry Fink was saying on TV for years, even after you joined the firm?
Well, I think the opportunity, even in those early years, 2017, 2018, was fairly obvious in terms of what this space could become. One, as an emerging asset class, as well as a transformative technology. And BlackRock as a platform is so impactful in terms of the reach of clients across many investor types that we have access to, and that thesis has certainly played out. Yeah,
just for everyone who, just so you guys know, Robbie is one of the key figures that orange-pilled Larry Fink, who's the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world. So if you see him around, you can thank him later.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one fun piece of ETF history, because many people maybe are new to ETFs. But 20 years ago, when Jan and I were doing ETFs, they were the renegade idea. The Financial Times called them weapons of mass destruction. There were congressional hearings about ETFs destroying the American dream, and people generally hated them. Fast forward to today, there's $7, $8, $9, $10 trillion in ETFs.